one, only me. My name is Raina Davis and I set up this group Sowing Seeds for Success. The reason why I set this group up is it's not aimed for women in business only. It's aimed for women in business, women in professional jobs, women working part-time jobs, mums, anybody really that's just looking for inspiration and motivation to help them get from maybe where they are to where they want to be, hence the sowing the seeds for success. Because no matter where you are right now, everybody starts from something, and the more and more you build on that, the more and more you water the seeds and you feed and nourish and look after the seeds, you will eventually end up growing this plant or this tree. And you imagine that as in you as a person. So it's all about basically what you sow now, what you put into yourself now, into your knowledge, into your learning, into your mind, into your body, into whether you're spiritual, everything you put into yourself now and working on that every single day is going to end up with some beautiful, fantastic results. And you imagine whatever is your most favourite flower, you imagine that flower just being a tiny, tiny seed. And from nourishing it, looking after it, watering it, feeding it, and doing all those positive things on a very regular basis, you've now got this most beautiful flower that you can look at every day and appreciate. And that's very much, as I've said, what I want to get the message across for you all, is that I want you to see yourself as a seed. And what do you need to plant? What do you need to feed yourself? What do you need to water yourself? So what books do you need to read? What education do you need to have? What are your actual goals, It's all well and good being this flower, but if you don't really know where you're going, you could end up on a beach, you could end up on a desert, you could end up in a forest, you could end up somebody's back garden, in a really small back garden. So it's about being this flower, but understanding all this seeds and understanding where you want to go. Do you want to be this beautiful flower in huge acres of fields, and do you want to be around, or do you want to be on your own? And I think that's sort of vital that people start thinking about where they are now. What does their life look like, and where do they want to be? And something I've done for years and years and years is I've always written my goals down, and I've written down where I want to be in 5 years, where I want to be in 10 years. And I think by writing them down and by sharing them, they almost become a little bit more real. Even though I might not have achieved that dream as of yet, and it is only a dream, writing it down and putting it pen to paper or putting it on a vision board is so powerful. Because the more you see it, the more you look at that, you whether it's a car, you look at that every day and you just think, wow, and you start to visualize yourself driving, you start to visualize yourself waving to people in this car or this dream or this house or this holiday. And it's really important that you start thinking about where you are now to where you really want to be. So what I'd love you all to do is just comment just below where you are now and where you really want to be, and let's start holding each other accountable to planting those seeds, to feeding those seeds, to nurturing them, to growing them, to feeding them, to trimming them back. Let's start by supporting and helping each other. And don't be afraid to share whatever your dreams are. What is a dream to me, somebody else couldn't think of anything worse. And vice versa, what could be a dream for somebody else, I might look at that and think, I couldn't think of anything worse. So just because somebody else has a dream or a vision or a goal, that doesn't need to be yours. You have your own. We all have our own dreams. Sometimes you just need to spend that time and sit down and work out what it is that you want your life to look like in 10 years' time. And a really good thing that I do on a very regular basis is I actually write. I spend some time and I actually write as if I am now 35, but I would write as if I am 45 and I've reflected on the last 10 years of my life. So I'll go into description, I'll go into some of the holidays that I was so glad to have gone on. And even though none of this was none of this has actually happened, what it's allowed me to do is make me think of what I want my life to be like by the time I'm 45 and all the stuff that I want to achieve. So by enforcing that and by, reading that story of my life, what I'm like in 10 years time, where I live, who I surround myself with, what does my life look like? What challenges do I do? And by writing that down, it just enforces that it's come out of you, it's on paper. So the next step is to take action and to ensure that I've put plans in place to achieve that. So I know it's for anybody that might see this as a bit either time consuming or just a bit weird, that writing yourself a letter of a life that you haven't even lived yet. It is a bit crazy when you first start doing it, but the more and more you do it, the more you can engage with your mind and body and really make sure that they're aligned and you're working, simultaneously. Because you imagine my mind is thinking one thing and my body is doing another, and we're both going separate ways. Not having alignment, not being focused in my mind and in my body really can mean that I'm pulling and pushing, and 10 years can pass by and that's all I've ever done is because I've pushed and pulled. I'm back in exactly the same spot that I started in. Whereas if I've got my mind and my body aligned and they're going in one direction, that means I'm going to get there a lot quicker and a lot faster. So yeah, try writing down a little story and please share your goals. Share with the group what it is that you want to achieve. And it could be anything from, as I said before, anything from just a small goal, a personal goal, a family goal, a job goal, a career goal, anything that you really, really want to set yourself as a goal. Let's hold each other accountable and let's start helping each other achieve these goals. To do it on your own is a lot harder than doing it with a group of really supportive people who can help, support and inspire and advise along the way. So I hope you all engage. Pop your comments below and let's start supporting each other. Have a fab day. Take care. Bye.